Wow. Oh. Holy crap. Look at that. That would explain the really low compression this engine had. Let's try the outer ones. Alright, we are finally ready to start working on reassembly of this CBR 1000 engine. Now, for those that don't remember, we blew this engine up last time we were at Durhamtown. It was smoking real bad, kind of lost the power, wasn't running that great, and when I came back, I ended up disassembling this engine and finding there was heavy cylinder wall damage in the cylinders, as well as the pistons were heavily damaged, and I wasn't sure at the time if it was from overheating this engine slightly or from dust and dirt getting in this engine, and now that I spoke to a couple of professionals, they believe that it was from dust and dirt getting in this engine. So I sent the cylinders to this company that bored them out to 77 millimeters instead of 75, as well as re-Nicosil lined the cylinders. And I also had to get new pistons, new piston rings from JE Pistons, as well as I got new bearings for the connecting rods and crankshafts. So we should hopefully have everything we need to start working on reassembly of this thing. Alright, now I just got done measuring the clearances of the piston rings to verify that those are correct, and they are. They're within spec of what the book is telling me that they need to be. Now let's start putting the piston rings on the pistons, and let's put the pistons on the connecting rods. Oh no! I have to go find that. Oh, that's not good. Did you guys hear it? Oh, that's not good. That's not good. I'll be right back. Oh, that could have been bad. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but this thing flung off, shot across the room, and landed on the shelf. Thank God I was able to find this. What happened was part of my glove got stuck in between the ring and the groove, and I tried to pull it out and it ripped. So I did not want to leave like a little part of my glove stuck in here. So I wanted to take it off, and yeah, this thing just flung off, shot across the room, and thankfully I was able to find it, because I'm not sure what I would have done if I lost that. I don't know, maybe the old clips would have worked, but I don't want to use the old clips. So luckily I was able to find that. Okay, I'm gonna be way more careful now. Boom. That wasn't so painful. Alright, pistons are now installed. They look pretty awesome in there. All nice and shiny. Now, let's flip this over and put the crankshaft in and put the two halves together. Alright, so yesterday I went to Lowe's and I bought this. This is a $200 digital torque wrench. I hope this wasn't a waste of money because I do have torque wrenches, but I was tired of converting Newton meters to inch pounds, and the torque wrench I have is a little bit old. I know you have to calibrate those things every, so often, so I just bought this. This is way more accurate. You don't have to calibrate it, and I don't have to convert Newton meters or inch pounds to Newton meters. So now these connecting rod bolts, these are 20 Newton meters, and then I have to torque them another 90 degrees. I'm just gonna do my best with, I could buy, like, there's this little dial thing that you put on there and you can like accurately get it to exact 90 degrees. I didn't buy it. I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's pretty easy to eyeball 90 degrees. And then the other sets of bolts that you have to torque down and then rotate another, I think it was 150 degrees. I'm just gonna eyeball that. These are one of two sets of bolts that you have to replace with brand new bolts when rebuilding this thing. Still is able to spin, nothing's binding up, so that's good. Crap. Yeah, I should have installed these oil jets before installing the crankshaft, but I think I can still get these in there. Now, the manual doesn't give a torque rating for these, but they do say to use thread locker, so I'm gonna use blue medium strength thread locker, but it doesn't give a torque rating, which is weird. It gives a torque rating for everything else but these. Either I can't find it in the manual, or it just doesn't say it. I don't know. Okay, I think I'm finally ready to put these two halves together. I made sure all the pins are in place, the oil squirters are in place, bearing, that gasket. I immobilized the balancer. I'm gonna put a bolt up there and then align the crankshaft in a certain orientation to get the balancer synced with the crankshaft. And I do have Honda Bond, and it tells me that I need to just do it on the outside. Don't bother on the inside. And I'll put this stuff on the bearings. So let me do that first. I'm a little nervous. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I would hate to reassemble this and like find like a gasket or like a freeze plug or something that I forgot before disassembling this. Yeah. I think it's good. This one's a little snug. It doesn't say if I should put oil on these threads, or Loctite, or anti-seize, or anything. It just doesn't say anything. I don't want to put them in dry. Alright, so I've been texting Dirt Gear. Huge thanks to him because I've been bombarding him with a bunch of stupid questions. Asking him, should I put oil on these threads? He thinks, he agrees with me. Like, yeah, normally when you're doing a bolt, you don't want to put it in dry. But the manual doesn't tell me if I should add anything or not. I've read through this whole thing. Doesn't say anything about adding oil or not. Every other bolt, it says add oil, except for it doesn't say anything about these. But I'm just gonna add oil because it's. I think it's the right thing to do. All right, now they're torqued to 20 Newton meters. Now we need to go 150 degrees, which is. Alright, so that is 150. From there to there. So I'm just gonna eyeball that the best I can. Alright, all the bolts are now torqued to spec. This thing's still able to spin. Still spins freely. Check that out. So, yeah, this thing's looking awesome. Looks awesome with the new pistons, the new cylinder walls, and everything. Everything looks all shiny. Now, something I kind of wish I thought of before installing this is I should have painted the top cylinder case. I should have painted this to match the bottom case, but didn't really think about that until like 5 minutes ago. I mean, it's not too late to do it. It's just, it's too late to do it easy. And if we do it now, we're either going to spray paint this and you have to cover each of the bolts and just cover everything we don't want to paint, or we could actually paint this with like a paintbrush. But I don't know. Does it need paint? I mean, it's aluminum, but it is bare aluminum, so it is going to corrode. So we may want to paint this thing once it's finally assembled. But yeah, kind of wish I thought of that before installing it. But oh well, that's, you know, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Now, next stuff is, I believe, the easier stuff. The transmission installed, the clutch basket, the clutch, cylinder head. We do have to check the valves to make sure those aren't leaking or not bent or anything. But that shouldn't be too hard. This was the hardest part, getting the new components installed, the new bearings, the new pistons, new piston rings. That was the hardest part. It's just making sure all those have good oil clearances and making sure everything still fits. Now it should be the easier stuff. All right, transmission's ready to be installed. I really don't like how loose this chain is. I mean, there's no tensioner. I doubt it's supposed to be this. I should have bought a new one. I mean, it's not supposed to be tight, but I don't think it's supposed to be this loose. And there's no tensioner that you put on there, so. Oh, wait a minute, wait. I almost forgot. Don't want to forget this. Don't forget that. Alright, so we need to tighten the clutch nut. So I kind of just quickly fabricated this thing together. That holds the clutch basket in place, hopefully. It's just like that. And the torque rating is 127 Newton meters. So this is gonna be a challenge to get this to. Ah, this stupid thing. As soon as I put the crowbar on here, it just pops right off. How in the world am I gonna get this if I can't hold it? Ugh, I'm still moving it. Okay, I'm calling that close enough. Oh man, that was a challenge. Ah, look what I noticed. I forgot the timing chain guides. Forgot to get these in place before putting this on, but crap. Yeah, there's no way I can get these in place without removing that, so dang it. Alright, got these in place, just had to take this off, then put it on, then put this back on. So that was just slightly annoying. Now, also got the clutch installed, got the starter gears installed. That should be everything for in here. Alright, now I'm curious if the valves are leaking at all, because I probably should lap the valves. I'm doing all this work to this engine, and ideally I should lap the valves, but I'm curious if they're leaking or not. So I saw this trick on YouTube. Somebody took an air compressor, just put a piece of wood on the end, and then pushed it up against the intake, and then sprayed soapy water on the valves to see if they're leaking or not. So let's try it. Alright, soapy water. Let's do the middle two first. Try this one. Oh, look at that. You can see some bubbles around there. Ooh, that's not good. Wow. Oh. Holy crap, look at that. That would explain the really low compression this engine had. Let's try the outer ones. Not great, but, you know, not as bad as that one. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, we gotta lap these valves. I'm curious about the exhaust, but, I can't do the plywood trick with the exhaust, so... Yeah, let's take the valves off and inspect them and see if we can lap them and fix this, because that is horrible. Check it out. These intake valves are completely filthy. Look at that. This thing would focus. There we go. Granted, this one is the dirtiest, but the intake valves are pretty bad. It's not carbon buildup. It's like dirt and carbon mixed. There's like definitely some dirt. Look at this. There's definitely like caked buildup of dirt on these intake valves. The exhaust valves aren't bad at all. They're just a little bit of carbon buildup, which is totally typical. So I just clean these now. I can definitely tell by looking at the sealing surfaces of these valves, there's like these little black spots where it's either crushed dirt or sand that got in between the sealing surfaces of these valves. And luckily I can just scrape them away with my fingernail. So I think it's like dirt that just got trapped in between the sealing surfaces of these valves, and that's what caused these to leak as bad as they were. So I'm gonna clean the valves and then lap them, and then that hopefully should solve the problem. Now, honestly, I have no idea how I didn't notice this before when I took this engine apart. But look at this. Look at these like indents on the pistons, on the intake side of these pistons. It's the worst on this one. This one, you can kind of see it a little bit. This one's a little bit faint. This one's, you can see it. This one's a little bit faint. And then this one, you can see that, and that one's a little bit faint. But again, this one has it the worst. And I'm like wondering, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is that? That does not look like it was machined in the pistons. And I actually looked up pictures of other CBR 1000 pistons, and it's like they don't have these marks. And I'm like, wait a minute, that looks like the valves. And sure enough, look at that. That is a perfect matchup for the valves. What I think happened is when this engine was inhaling dust, dirt, and sand or whatever, what I think happened is some of that dirt and sand got in the sealing surfaces of these valves, making it to where they can't close all the way. And then this being a really high compression engine, when this piston was going up and down, slamming into the valve, causing these marks, causing the dirt to get crushed into the sealing surfaces of these valves, creating compression issues and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's not good. And I'm honestly not sure how I didn't break a valve, or because you can definitely feel this. This is not some like little tiny mark. Again, this is the worst one, but you can feel that this is totally indented in the piston. And I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to really see that on camera, but it is totally an indent. And it's gonna take a lot of force to indent aluminum like this, so I don't know how. So now I'm wondering, are these valves bent? Some of them may be bent, other ones, they don't look as bad, so I don't know. I'm really hoping I don't need new valves for this thing, but we're gonna find out. We'll find out if these valves are bent once we lap them. So let's start cleaning the cylinder head, and I'll clean the valves, and then we'll lap them, and we'll see if some of these are bent. I'm really hoping they're not.
Three down. This is taking really long, so I'm not going to bother showing the whole process. I'll come back when it's done.
Alright, valves are done. None of them were bent, which was a miracle. The sealing surfaces are all perfect. I don't see any marks or pits or any scratches or anything, so let's start putting this thing back together. Alright, now we have a bit of an issue because I just put the cylinder head on, I started tightening the bolts, and one of the bolts, the bolt that goes right in this corner right here, didn't really want to tighten, and then I just kept tightening it, and it got to the point where I couldn't really turn it without really cranking on it, and I noticed that there was still had another like 3 or 4 rotations left before actually tightening. So I backed it out, and I noticed it was really not easy to back out, and I felt that the thread started getting a little crunchy, but I was able to get the bolt out. But if you look at this, if you look closely, if this camera would focus, is it focused? I think so. Yeah, you can see that the first 2 threads of this bolt are pretty damaged. So yeah, that's not good. This is not what you want to happen on the cylinder head bolts on a freshly rebuilt engine. So luckily I did find a tap that I have that is the same exact threads. By the way, that these threads are M9 by 1.25. So what I'm gonna do is, luckily I didn't tighten any of the bolts. I'm gonna take the bolts out, take the head off, and I'm gonna chase the threads and hope that you know, solves the issue. Ideally I should get a new bolt, but because it's the first 2 threads, and because I don't want to wait 4 days for shipping, and then I gotta go pick it up, that's 5 days waiting to finish this thing. I'm wondering if I can just reuse this one. I don't know. So let me let's first inspect the threads and see if I can fix them. I'm hoping it's not going to get to the point where they're heavily damaged and I have to I don't even know if I could helicoil cylinder head bolts. I don't know, is that going to be strong enough? So let's take the cylinder head off. Let's inspect this and see if we can just chase the threads, clean up the first 2 threads on this bolt, and just reuse it and just put this thing back together. Or if this is heavily damaged, we're gonna have to do something else. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Alright, I'm first just gonna try and thread the tap in there. Make sure I follow the original threads. Oh, I'll be honest, it doesn't look good. This is not what you want to happen with a freshly rebuilt engine. Hang on, I really need to make sure that no metal shavings get in this engine. Let me put some tape. Alright, put tape on it. We do not want to get metal shavings in this engine. I'll just cover the rest with a towel. Alright, so I did find the threads, and it is going in. I can feel some slight resistance, so it is carving, you know, something. We'll pull it out and see if there's any metal shavings. Oh, that is... That's not good. Just the first couple turns, yeah, there's a lot of metal shavings on, aluminum shavings on this. Alright, look at this. That was just like 3 turns in the threads, and now there's all those metal shavings on there. So, that's not good. That's not good at all. Why did I force the bolt even tighter? I didn't think it was gonna do this. Ooh, it just got... Alright, there's something there. There's something there. Just got past it. Yeah, there's definitely, there's definitely some crunchy threads. Yep, more metal shavings. And it's hard to tell the condition of the threads. Let me thread a bolt down there. I mean, that's crunchy. And it's a little bit loose. Ooh, that's crunchy. This is not good. This is not good. Let me, I have a helicoil kit. Let me see if they have, whatever this thread size is. 9mm by 1.25. Let me see if I have a helicoil that'll fit that, and then I'll Google if you can do a helicoil on cylinder head bolts. Well, this kind of throws a monkey wrench in trying to get this thing fully rebuilt in this video, but what can you do? Now, I did look it up. Apparently, you can use helicoils to repair the cylinder head bolt threads. Apparently, it's a common thing. I wasn't sure about that because I've never used a helicoil, but apparently it's strong. Apparently, it's, you know, stronger. From what I've heard, it's actually stronger than the original thread, so that's kind of good. So, because originally I was thinking like maybe we can get away with it if we just clean the threads on this, just chase these threads with the tap. But after seeing all those aluminum shavings coming out of, coming off this tap every time we put it in here, no, we're not, these threads are way too damaged. So we are going to try to fix this with a helicoil. Now, of course, because these bolts are a little bit weird size, they're 9mm by 1.25. You can find helicoils for that size, but they're the small helicoils, the really short ones, and ideally I need the 3D ones, the longer ones, and I could not find those. I looked on eBay, Amazon, Google. I found this website that sells helicoils. They didn't have them. They had a ton of other helicoils, but they didn't have the one that I need. They had the one in the 8mm and 10mm in the 3D ones, but not 9. But there are still a couple companies I can look up to see if they have one. McMaster-Carr is one of them. I'm not sure. Do they sell helicoils? I don't know. I'll look them up, see if they have the longer helicoils that I need, as well as a couple of companies that I know of that maybe will have them. So. But I did order the shorter ones on Amazon. They should get here in a couple days. And if I can't find them, we'll just use... Maybe I can stack them together. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll try something. As well as I did order new bolts for this. I ordered 2 of them just in case. Just in case we mess up another one. I ordered 2 of them, so we'll have a backup because we should not use this bolt. Now that it's damaged, we need to order a new one. So while we're waiting for the helicoil and the new bolt to get here, I guess this is a good time to end this video here, and we'll kind of just pick this back up in the next video of this project. Actually, there's a couple things we need to do to the frame before we put the engine in, so maybe it's a good time in the next video, while we're waiting for the cylinder head bolts and the helicoil to get here, we'll work on the frame, get that finished, and once we get that done, hopefully we'll have that stuff and be able to finish rebuilding this thing, because we're almost done rebuilding it. And then put it back in the frame and hopefully get it running in the next video of this project. But, yeah, it's a little annoying. It's a little bit of a bummer that we're so close to finishing rebuilding this thing, and then this happened. But, anyway, what can you do about that? So, anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video.